Alright, welcome back, Jordan Thompson fans. Uh, I don't know why I said that. Doing a little throwback GT show. Hey, what's up? We're not doing any outs. This is just. This is gonna be my first ever mock draft. Talking a little bit with free agency. I'm kind of doing like a base scenario. I said I was doing a bunch of these. So this is going to be my scenario based, my first ever scenario. This is the ideal scenario, so to speak. That being said, I think the ideal scenario is we go into free agency looking for a corner, because we need a corner. Going and looking for offensive linemen, specifically center and tackle, specifically right tackle. Because left tackle wasn't very bad, but it's still something we need to fix. But definitely getting that right tackle down, and definitely getting a center is key. And a cornerback, because if we lose both Ahkello Witherspoon and Joe Haden, there's no really inexperience there. A lot of young youth there. Not that that's a problem, but you want to have a guy who's experienced who can help learn. That being said, I have a list of names, from each position. Just the people that potentially mean that we do have some decent amount of cap to go out and potentially sign. Obviously, Steelers never been into signing big name people, but it's here and there. So for centers, Ryan Jensen, Ben Jones, Matt Paradis, those are some names that could be, those are some good centers, out there. I think Matt Paradis being the one that would be the one that I guess would really be there. Ben Jones, Ryan Jensen, just those I believe a little bit better. For the tackle position, Teron Armstead, that's a big one. You gotta Orlando Brown Jr., even Dwayne Brown, key names. Just to go out and do stuff there. And then in terms of corners, this one's being thrown out a little bit out there. But Stephon Gilmore, Jason Verrett, Casey Hayward Jr. You throw just giving a little experience, a little bit more veteranship. Honestly, 2-year deal. Not like a prove it deal, but 2-year deal just to get some things working. We have some cap stuff. Would be nice, but that being said, we kind of, I think wide receiver, because I think we potentially could lose Juju. If we don't lose Juju, wide receiver's not too big. I think we do lose Juju, and as well as James Washington, so that's very big. That being said, you kind of don't want to have Ray being your number 3. That's why, Anthony Miller, he's there, but do we really know? Outside of that, so, looking at free agency, obviously you're not going to land like Devontae Adams or anything, but, somewhere, in between, there's guys out there. Obviously cornerback with Joe Haden and potentially Ahkello Witherspoon. And then obviously quarterback being the fact that we lost Big Ben. And, our quarterbacks are terrible. That being said, we are getting into our mock draft portion of the thing. This is the first ever mock draft. The beginning maybe my best part. The ending is probably garbage because I don't know how to mock draft. So don't go too hard on me on my opinions on mock drafts. I'm doing it based off a scenario, which is we've signed a center, we signed a tackle, and we signed a cornerback. But we have wide receivers in need because we lose that. Another corner would be nice. Quarterback, we need another linebacker. Devin Bush is kind of meh. Now he was coming off an injury, so I'm gonna give him next year. Joe Sherbert was kind of meh. I think we're gonna lose him because cap casualties. Don't know what to say with there. Edge was all right. Highsmith was a little bleh. We need more defensive linemen without Stephon Tuitt, who is probably going to end up retiring. We have no run defense. It's kind of sad. So D-line is definitely something big. And then obviously corners are safeties. Minka's Minka, and for all the bad stuff Terrell Edmonds gets, he's pretty decent. He's not a bad He's not a bad guy. He does a lot in the shadows, so to speak. That being said, with the 20th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Malik Willis, quarterback. Liberty. Yep. I based off how the mock draft went, Malik Willis was still available at 20, being that actually Pittsburgh ends up being the first team. And I put, it's not like I went straight off. I put it on what needs, but I also put some little bit of randomness into it because, you got to throw in those Jamar Chases, those Daniel Jones, the little randomness. You never know what's going to happen there. So, but yeah, I mean, Malik Willis, even if Kenny Pickett was still there, even though I think Kenny Pickett's the number one quarterback in this draft class, everyone knows Malik Willis is the guy Steelers are going for. So, choosing anyone other than that would be foolish. If you're going to make a mock draft, Malik Willis is the quarterback the Steelers are going to choose. As if you're not paying attention to the Steelers, you're living underneath a rock. Anywho, with the 52nd pick in the the 2022 NFL Draft, I'm probably not going to say that. I'm probably going to do that for like the first 3 picks or something like that. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Brian Asamoah, linebacker, I believe Oklahoma. I have this written down all over here because, I don't do editing. So look up those guys. Good luck. There's no editing here. I don't have an editor. My laptop kind of doesn't do very good at editing, so it probably does. I'm just too lazy. That's besides the point. Yeah, linebacker. Like I said, we need to fix that. A second-round pick. He's a little bit smaller for a linebacker. That's his only weakness. But for good, potentially good sideline-to-sideline speed, something we can need. And if Devin Bush comes back and actually plays like what we thought from when we drafted him and then traded up for him, I mean, we're going to be in a solid spot. We're going to be in a phenomenal spot. Oh my goodness, you don't even understand. But yeah. And yeah. So for the 84th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Justin Ross, wide receiver. Wide receiver is something we need to address. Third round's usually a good, second, third round usually when we pick them as of recently. So I felt like, doing it, and we bring up wide receivers like there's nothing. I mean, look at our history of wide receivers. So, I'm not saying, so it's not like I went out and chose a bum or somebody who's potentially could be a bust. I chose out, Justin Ross because, I looked up, and he had some good highlights, for at least in my opinion. So, I think he'll be a guy, and it's not like he needs to come out and be like, oh yeah, wide receiver day one. No, primarily, I mean, you throw him in the slot. That's about it. Put him in the slot. We really just need a slot receiver. And then that's it. Slot receiver. Have somebody else who can be wide receiver number 5. Or, vice versa, whoever, whether Ross is 4 or 5, and then have if you, not 4 or 5, 3 or 4, and then have 5 be Ray, because, you want to have your returner not really getting hit too much, because then, that just doesn't really view very well. Yeah, alright, into, pick 138 is, Neil Farrell Jr., D-line. That's self-explanatory. Like I said, Stephon Tuitt's going to leave. We need a nice, solid D-line to help stop the run. If we not, our run defense is just going to be straight garbage. Our defense is just, getting a strong run defense is key for us to end up having the success that we did. So getting, not Tuitt back, because Tuitt's probably not going to come back, but getting not a replacement, but essentially a replacement for Tuitt, whether free agency or, in my case, the draft, so on and so forth. So yeah, there you go. Pick 207, just round 6, Jack Jones, cornerback. I think having another youth cornerback, potentially practice squad type player, nothing more. This is sort of the end where I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm kind of just doing based off need and looking up. players and whatnot. And I think Jack Jones is just going to be a guy who can go out. Really, realistically, this is your practice squad guy. These next three guys are pretty much practice squad guys. The next one after him is the one I'm going to be able to talk about a little bit more because of the fact that I follow his college as well as, he's got relations to a Steeler currently. I think we should all know who I'm talking about for those that know. That being said, pick 2021, 221, Connor Hayward. MSU, the tight end, fullback, halfback, hybrid player, who could be key. I mean, having a hybrid player is nice because you can do many different things. He's a little short for a tight end, but, ultimately a special teamer. Probably, obviously, would be practice squad at first, but, I mean, if you throw him out there as tight end 3, I'm saying, not now, but, get rid of not Gentry, but get rid of Ebron, because, we don't need drops anymore. But yeah, you guys get my point. I don't have to, get rid of Ebron. He's garbage. Anywho, I don't know what that was. I have no idea what that was. But yeah, Connor Hayward, he's got family relations. His brother's Cam Hayward. I mean, pretty good player for the Steelers. Probably, all pro, Pro Bowler, pretty good guy, I would say. One of the defensive captains. I mean, tight. You can throw. He's not obviously. Derek Watt's pretty good. We all know Steelers like their family members. So throwing him in there, and there was no way for me to, choose, Palomalu's nephew or what's his face's son. So we're just gonna go with this because that's who's available still. I think they're both juniors, so I think they're gonna be next year. But PFF is stupid, as we all know. And then the last pick is I chose a center, Luke Wattenberg. Again, this is something I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just like, you know what? Let's throw a center in there. Maybe he'll learn something. Maybe he'll be a secret good selection like what's his name, like Dotson. That's to me is just I just wanted to end the mock draft, so I figured I'd just choose a center. There's not much really else to do. But yeah, don't judge too hard. I do like the heart of it, getting in there, linebacker, wide receiver, D-line, corner, some of the solid things. Obviously, this all depends on how free agency goes, with picking up the center, the tackle, and then the cornerback. That's the ideal scenario. I will be doing other scenarios based off of other things that can go on, mostly just other quarterbacks that we pick, or other things, who knows, free agents and other such whatevers, and how, because anything's possible, whatever. But yeah, this is it. Not much else I can really say. First ever mock draft done. Feel pretty good. Beard stroke for the homies. Yeah, this is it. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't believe me too hard. I say that with much love. I know it's all gonna be good criticisms. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I hope to do another one of these soon. Once I'll be covering some free agency stuff as it comes on. The only reason I'm kind of not doing a lot of videos right now is because A, it's the off season. B, I'm kind of been moved to my living room. Due to the fact that other moving situations, it's fine. I mean, I'm chilling, so that's all that matters. So videos will be iffy, but I mean, I'm gonna do what I gotta do for the homies, all right? Because that's how the general does it, all right? I do everything for you, but not really everything. But you get what I mean. Anywho, yeah. For the draft, in terms of the draft, I'm leading in obviously free agency, and then I'll cover that. But then the draft, it's not like I'm going to Pittsburgh or anything. You know, well, I'd love to. Because I know Pittsburgh has that draft party. I'd love to do it. Go there, hang out with some homies. The homies that I'm talking about already know. We're probably watching this video. They'll know. Um, Shout out to the homies. Uh, uh, no. But anywho, yeah, I would like to go to Pittsburgh because why not? I mean, who doesn't? But money is money, so I'm not promising anything yet. Would it be nice? Of course, but I got other things to do. Um, you know, Eventually moving out would be nice because then I can do this a little bit more full time ish. Not really full time ish, but I can put out more content that way, no distractions. Plus, building a PC to really do more editing, more, get an actual camera. Do a lot. There's a lot of I have a lot of ambitious activity, but for right now, my laptop, we doing it like this. If you don't like it, I can't help you. I mean, we doing this like bootleg. We doing this lit. All right, we doing this. It's basically live. There's no editing here. I'm not. If stuff happens, stuff happens. It gets caught on camera. Hey, you know what? They could be an alien walking right through the window. Ooh, spooky. I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. I'm going on a rant right now. First mock track from the books. Thanks for the homies for sticking around. This is anyway. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to, just go tell your friends to join. I mean, join the army, join the GT show army, the general's army. That's yeah. Anyway, I'm saluting off.